Alright. Now the next topic is solving quadratic equation by formula method. In class 10 we have done this topic. We have solved the quadratic equation, but there we did it by factorization method. And that method was a difficult method. Plus, it is not applicable for all type of question. We can use the factorization method for solving a quadratic equation only when the numbers are small. When the numbers are small. But if the numbers are big, then we are unable to do. It's very difficult, and that is why we have another alternative method in which we use a formula. And with this method, we will be able to do any kind of question. And this is much easier than the previous method. Is it alright?
Yes, sir.
So, to do it by this method, we need to know the standard form of a quadratic equation. I need to have attention here on the board. We need to have the quadratic equation in the standard form. We know that there are three different forms of quadratic equation. In class 10 we have studied standard form, factored form, and the vertex form. Right? Now we are going to deal with only one form of quadratic equation, and that is called as standard form of quadratic equation. The structure of standard form of quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So our expectation is that the equation should be in this format, and then we can apply formula method. Is this very clear?
Yes.
Now when you look at the formula, you will see that all the terms are shifted in one side, and then right hand side we have always 0. This is what we expect from the standard form. Everything should be shifted in one side, left hand side, and then right hand side has to be always 0. And then we can apply the formula method. Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
Now the standard form of a quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c. Ax square plus bx plus c, where a is the coefficient of x square, b is the coefficient of x, and c the constant. C is the constant. So we have to recognize what is a, b, and then c. Because in the formula we are going to use the values of a, b, and then c only. See the formula? The formula is x is equal to minus b plus minus root over b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So in the formula we have all over the values of a, b, and then c. We are playing with the values of a, b, and c. And that is why we need to have the quadratic equation in the standard form, so that easily we can extract the value of a, b, and then c, and then punch it in the formula, do simple calculation, get the solution. Is it okay?
Yes,
You are going to enjoy this exercise. This will be very, very interesting. It's very easy for you. We will go for the first question. X square plus x minus 3 is equal to 0. This is your question number. Exercise 5C. This is your quadratic equation, isn't it? Is this equation in the standard form? To check that, you have to see whether the terms are written in the decreasing order of the power of x or not. And it is there. It is there. Number one. Number two is all the terms in one side? Yes. So it is in the standard form. Now we can begin the question. Because we are able to see what is the value of a, b, and then c. A is the coefficient of x square, b the coefficient of x, and c the constant. Okay? So the value of a here is equal to the coefficient of x square, and it is equal to 2. B is the coefficient of x, and this is equal to 1. And c the constant, which is equal to minus 3. We have the value of a, b, and c. We'll put it in the formula. This formula will give you the solution. So x is equal to, according to formula, minus b. Minus you write first, and then you write the value of b. It is 1 plus minus root over b square, 1 square, minus 4 into a, that is 2, into c, that is minus 3. And then divided by 2a, so 2 into 2. Is this okay? Now you might be wondering that in the formula why there is double sign. This is because this is going to give you the solution of a quadratic equation. And quadratic equation, every time there will be double solution. Because it is an equation in degree 2. It is an equation in degree 2. So we continue. X is equal to minus 1 plus minus root over. Square of 1 is 1. Then from here till here there are two negative products. When you multiply this all together, then the product will become positive. So minus minus plus, and then 4 to the 8 is the 24. And then divided by 2 to the 4. This is equal to minus 1 plus minus root over 25 divided by 4. See, we are so fortunate that the radical part, in the radical part, the radicand is a square number. And nothing can be better than this if we have the radicand as a square number, because then it can come out in the form of a whole number. So, minus 1 plus, okay, as soon as this is solved, then we can separate the two answers. We can then separate the two answers. So I'm going to separate the answer in this system. One will be with plus sign, so plus 5 divided by 4. Another answer will be with minus sign, minus 5 divided by 4. Is this okay? Yes, sir. Now 5 minus 1, 4. 4 divided by 4, 1. Minus 5 minus 1, minus 6 divided by 4. Answer will be negative 3 over 2. And this is your answer. Is it interesting? Yes, sir. Thank you. Now this is a similar question, but then the reason why I am doing it, because you have a very bad habit of pre-calculating the question. Here the numbers are radical number, no? So you might find it a little complicated. Actually, this also is equally same, right? We'll just continue the same process and then we can do this question. Here, this is already done in the format of standard form. So there is no need of any correction in the question. We can directly have the value of A, B and C. So the value of A will be equal to root 2, the coefficient of x square. Well, B is the coefficient of x, 1, and C the constant, root 2. So we can use the formula now. X is equal to minus B, minus, and B is 1. So 1 plus minus root over. B square is 1 square minus 4 into A root 2 into C root 2. And then divided by 2 into A, that is root 2. Is equal to minus 1 plus minus root over. Now 1 square means 1. Root 2 into root 2? 2 into 4, 8, and then divided by 2 root 2. Is this okay? Now, minus 1 plus minus root over 1 minus 8, minus 7. Minus 7 divided by 2 root 2. Now, you have a negative number inside the radical sign. That means what kind of number is this? What type of number is this? What do we call this number? Yes? This is called as complex number. This is called as complex number. It's a mixture of a real number and an imaginary number. Mixture of real number and imaginary number is called as complex number. So this is complex number. That means whenever we have complex number, what we do is we separate the imaginary number from the real number. So we will do that. And this is equal to minus 1 plus minus root over 7. And then this is I divided by 2 root 2. That's all. And here we don't need to separate the two answers because the radicand is a non-square number. So you can't simplify this part, right? And therefore, we will leave the answer into this part. Is it okay? Yes. Alright, now this is a different question. This is a different question. You can see here, your equation, you do not have the quadratic equation in the proper form. Isn't it? So we cannot directly find the solution. We always expect our equation to be in the quadratic form, that also in the standard form. We want the quadratic equation in the standard form. So if it is not in the standard form, we will have to do some calculation and then we will convert that into standard form, and after that we can begin. Is it alright?
Yes, sir.
So we will do some calculation. Now to do that, on left hand side we have two fractional numbers. We have two fractional numbers. So we will simplify this and then make it into one. Once these two fractional numbers become one, then we will go for cross multiplication. Simplify, you will get your quadratic equation. Is it okay? To see how do we do this? This one, left hand side we will find the LCM of these two numbers because they do not have common divisor. So we always multiply directly and then get the LCM. And therefore the LCM of this will be x plus 7 into x plus 2. In this case, when you directly multiply and get the LCM, then the numerator can be obtained by cross multiplication. And therefore, this into this, x plus 2 into x plus 6 minus x plus 1 into x plus 7. And this is equal to 1 over 3x plus 1. Right hand side as it is. Now we are going to multiply and then simplify the numerator. So when you multiply these two, then you get the result as x square plus 8x plus 12. Done? So now when we multiply these two, because every term in this, or each and every term of these two expressions are positive, so the product of these two will be also all the terms positive. But before that there is a minus sign, so after multiplying when I open the bracket, then all the terms will become negative, no? So I am going to show you all together, everything at once. So the result will be minus x square minus 8x minus 7. This will become the result of your another multiplication. Is this alright?
Yes, sir.
And then denominator also I am going to multiply. So when I multiply, I get the result as x square plus 9x plus 14, and right hand side as it is 1 over 3x plus 1. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
After this we simplify again. X square minus x square cancel. 8x minus 8x cancel. Numerator you are left with 12 minus 7 is 5. And the denominator we have x square plus 9x plus 14. And right hand side we have 1 over 3x plus 1. Now we can see your left hand side has become one fractional number. We made the two fractional number into one. Now we can go for cross multiplication. So we'll multiply. Now this multiplied by 1 will be as it is only. This is next step. X square plus 9x plus 14 is equal to this into this now. So 15x plus 5. After this, because we want this multiplication in the standard form, so right hand side has to be 0. So this two term also will be shifted to left side. And therefore, this will become x square. Now, this is 9x and this is 15x. This 15x will come to this side. It will become minus 15x. So 9x minus 15x minus 6x. Likewise, 14 minus 5 will become 9x. 9 is equal to 0. This became your quadratic equation. Now see, after doing this much of exercise, finally you got your quadratic equation. Now we will solve this and then we will get the value of x. We will get the solution. Isn't it? So from here, if I write the value of a, b and c, a will be equal to the coefficient of x square is equal to 1. The coefficient of b is minus 6. And the c is 9. C is 9. Is it done? Yes. Now we are finding the solution. So x is equal to minus b, that is minus 6, plus minus root over b square means minus 6 square, minus 4ac, 4 into a, that is 1, into c means 9. Is it right? Is it right?
Yes, sir.
And then divided by 2a, 2 and a is 1 into 1. This is then now minus minus plus. So this becomes plus 6. Plus minus root over minus 6 whole minus 6 square is 36. First is 36. First is 36. Now minus 4 9 again 36. 36 divided by 2. 36 minus 36? 0. So, do we need to write this 6 plus 0 means what? Nothing. 6 only. And 6 minus 0 also is equal to 6 only. Therefore, 6 divided by 2. Answer is? Is it done?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Graph. This is another topic. Graph of a quadratic equation. Let me have your attention here. Some of you started yawning. Graph of quadratic equation. Again, this is a very old topic. You have done it in class 10. And class 10 you did it in detail. You did the graph of 3 different forms of quadratic equation. Standard form, factor form, and the vertex form. For all 3 different forms of quadratic equation, you have learned plotting the graph. Isn't it? And after learning, you have returned it to the teacher. So you don't remember exactly how to plot the graph of a quadratic equation. Yes? Do you remember?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you remember the plotting graph of a quadratic equation in the standard form? In the standard form? Can you raise your hand? How many of you remember? I told you, you are very, very faithful. GNH student. No? Very good. Learn and then return it to the teacher. Next year, go to the new class with no knowledge. With no knowledge. Very good. Keep it up. Good spirit. May I have your attention here on the board? Can you sit straight? Some of you are invertebrate. You don't have backbone. You are leaning on the chair. We are going to learn the only one method of plotting the graph, and that is for the standard form of a quadratic equation. Is this okay? Yes, standard form of a quadratic equation. And this method is a very simple method. We did it. There we have to create a value table for 5 different values of x, and then we will plot it on the coordinate. We will get the graph. The nature of graph of a quadratic equation is a curve, which is named as parabola. Which is called as parabola. This parabola can be facing upward or can be facing downward. Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
So, we are going to take the first question. Y is equal to x square minus 5x plus 6. This is question number 1. Exercise 5. Here I would like to add one thing is, sometimes we may have the limit of x. We may have limit of this x. Okay. In the old textbook, we are given the limits. In some of the book, we are given the limits. You all have the limits in the question. Okay, maybe some of you will have. Okay, it says that x lies between 0 and 5. You all have this type of limit in the question. So you don't know what is the limit, that's why you are not raising the hand also. So sometimes this part is given, sometimes this part is not given. So it does not make much difference. This does not make much difference. I'll tell you what is the difference between the limit and then without limit. First of all, we are going to plot the graph. The purpose of graph is to find the relation between the 2 variables. There are 2 variables in the equation, x and y. What is the relation between x and y? That can be understood by plotting the graph. How one variable is changing according to the change in the other variable. This relation can be obtained by plotting the graph. We can also explain that mathematically, but graphically it is more clear. And it gives you a quick answer. Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
So, we need to create a value table for this given equation. We will draw a value table for 5 different values of x. Remember here, in this function, x is said to be the independent variable and y is said to be the dependent variable. X is said to be independent variable and y is said to be dependent variable. Okay, so we have freedom. We can choose any value for x because it is independent. It is independent. So we can select any 5 values of x. Okay.
Yes,
Now
sir.
we have this freedom when this limit is not there. When this limit is not given, then we have full freedom. We can choose then any value of x. Now the precaution what you have to take is when you select a value for x, make sure that you do not take big value because the size of the graph paper is limited. Also, if the numbers are small, then the calculation will be easy for you. So first of all, the calculation will be easy for you. Number two, the size of the graph paper also is small, so your numbers will fit in the graph paper. If you have taken big number, then you have to change the scale. It can be adjusted in the graph paper, but then you have to choose a proper scale. And also the calculation will become a problem for you. You are very good in calculation. Am I right or not?
Yes, sir.
I know how good you are.
Yes, sir.
So now when this is not there, when the limit is not given, then we will have freedom, as I said. In that case, what we do is, out of the 5 number, we tend to keep 2 number positive and 2 number negative, and then 1 to be 0. 1 to be 0 or close to 0. Is it okay? So 2 number positive, 2 number negative, and 1 to be 0. The reason is because the graph of a parabola is a curve. Is a curve in the form of parabola. The parabola will be like this, somehow like this, isn't it? And this curve will have 2 arms. Will have right arm and the left arm. Now the advantage of selecting 2 positive and 2 negative number is because if the 2 positive number will go on one of the arm, then the 2 negative number will go on the other arm. And then the 0 will be somewhere in the middle near the vertex. So all the points will be nearby and then it will be on both the arms, so that when you join it with the free hand, you will be able to get a curve. You will be able to get a curve. But if you take only the positive number or you take only the negative number, the chances is that all the 5 values may come on the same arm. Right? So you are not able to complete the parabola. You are not able to complete the curve because you can see the motion of only one side, but you are not in a position to continue it and then give it a full shape. Okay? In that case, your parabola will become handicapped without one hand, with only one hand. So for that reason, we take precaution most of the time, but not always. It also depends on the nature of the equation. Because now you see this equation, here the limit of x is that it can be from 0 till 5. That means here we are not going to take any negative value of x. Still we will get the parabola. Still we will get the parabola. So the value of x is between 0 and 5. From 0 till 5. From 0 till 5 there are 6 numbers. But you can take any 5. Any 5. So we are going to create the value table now. First of all, value table. And then we draw the table for 5 different values of x. Is it okay? So we'll have x here and then we will have y here. Now we are going to choose values for x. So 1, okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. There is only one number left and then we want only 5. So this is enough, no?
Yes, sir.
Now we will put these values in x and for each value of x we will get a corresponding value for y. This calculation we don't need to show. This is just a rough one. Okay. So I will show you roughly. 0 square 0. This is also 0. Then only plus 6. So the value of y will be 6. Next value of x is 1. So 1 square means 1. 1 5 is 5 minus 5 and then plus 6. So 6 plus 1 7 minus 5 2. Is this okay? Calculation is also very simple if the numbers are small. Next number is 2. So 2 square means 4 minus 5 to the 10 and then plus 6. So 6 plus 4 10 minus 10 is equal to 0. Next number is 3. So 3 square means 9. 3 5s are 15 and then plus 6. So 6 plus 9, 15 minus 15, again 0. Is this okay? You need not to worry. Whatever value comes, let it come. 4 is 4 square means 16 minus 4 5s are 20 and then plus 6. So 16 plus 6, 22 minus 20 is equal to 2. Your value table is complete. How easy it is, no?
Yes, sir.
It is very interesting to make the value table, right?
Yes, sir.
After this value table is ready, now we are going to plot it on the graph paper, on a grid. So we need to have the grid now. So we will draw the two coordinates. We'll draw the two coordinates. These are the two coordinates. We'll make division. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now division is done, right?
Yes, sir.
Just now I have not written the number because we have to decide, we have to choose. Okay, choose the scale. We have to select the scale and then accordingly we will write the number. But first of all, there are two variables. One of the variable is independent and other variable is dependent. So we have to know that which is independent, and that independent variable will be always plotted along the horizontal axis. Right? So our is x, therefore it is plotted along horizontal axis. So the name of this axis became now x axis. Actually x axis is not the name. The actual name of this horizontal axis is abscissa. Okay? And now the another coordinate is y, another variable is y, which is plotted on the vertical, and the name of this one is ordinate. The name of this is ordinate. And together this abscissa and ordinate is called as coordinate. Is it alright?
Yes, sir.
Now after this we are going to select the scale. For the scale we have to look at the value table. We'll look at the value table. If the numbers are big, then we will choose the proper scale. Maybe one unit can be taken as equal to 5 or 10 or 15 or 100, depends on the reading. But here we are very lucky because the numbers are very small. It's ranging from 0 to 6 only. Okay? So we will have just one unit as equal to 1. 1 is to 1 scale. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 unit. Minus 1, minus 2. Minus 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. That's all. Okay? Now we'll start plotting it. So the first number is x0, y7. x0, y6. x0, y6. So this is your point number 1. Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
In your notebook, on your graph paper, when you do not have to cut for so many times because it has to be only a point and then put a circle around it when you draw the graph. Next one is x1, y2. x1 and then y2. This is the another point. Is this okay? Then is x2, y0. x2, y0 is at this point. Is it okay? Then x is 3 and y is 0. This is at this point. And now last one is x4, y2. x4 and then y2. You got it now. We will join it and then we can plot get the graph. So we'll start from here. This is your parabola. This is your parabola. Done?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.